Welcome back to Power Tips. Today we're talking about the Release Wave 1 items for Power Automate. So within the Power Automate release wave, we have we have releases for cloud flows, desktop flows, as well as process mining. I don't think we're touching on anything from process mining today, but I'm going to kick it off with a few of the items that stood out to me for desktop flows. So first one here that I noticed was automating our PowerPoint presentations with desktop flows. So this is going to let you automate PowerPoint tasks from the desktop flows so that I can keep all my presentations consistent, focus up my free time on the things that matter, right? And make it easy to integrate my presentation creation into the broader business process, right? So you're working on new strategy, working on maybe for people in our industry, we're working on architecture, things like that. When those documents are done, we can automate that right into building the PowerPoint presentation. So I am curious to see how this works, but sounds like a great way to keep a lot of our brand material consistent and hopefully be able to take things from other material we're already creating and move that right into a presentation. This is listed as public preview this month, so hopefully we'll see more details soon. What do you guys think about this one?
I feel like
I'm a
I
big
have problems trusting the accuracy of automating PowerPoint presentations. I have been underwhelmed with what Copilot generates. So I don't know if it's the same underlying tech here. I assume it is. I would have trust issues with this. I would say throw in a little approval flow step here before
Oh, for
you
sure.
just get that output and move with it.
I will say, and now granted it comes at the cost of Copilot credits, but Cowork has been phenomenal for that, particularly if you go the extra step of creating a skill, an MD file for it that guides the presentation parameters. I've been blown away at how consistently on spot on the designs are and the content as well. However, to your point, Heidi, 100% agree. All things AI, we've said it a bazillion times. It's great for the starting point, but you got to fine tooth comb it and go through it and make sure it's covering all the right things and the right avenues and layer in your demos and stuff like that. I would definitely want to comb through it first.
Yeah, for sure. We're excited, but we better check it. The next one I have here is referencing previous prompts in Copilot for Power Automate Desktop. And this is already in public preview and has been in public preview for over a year now. And general availability is listed as May of this year, but it's not checked off yet. So again, if this is something you're interested in, make sure you're trying it out, providing your feedback so we can get it to general availability. But basically what this means is we're going to be able to reference our prior prompts in the same conversation so we can streamline the flow and reduce errors, right? So we can ensure that we're saving time and that the interactions are context aware. So the key benefits that it talks about is like the contextual understanding, right? Our efficiency, improved accuracy, and a more intuitive user experience. So this will help us to eliminate that repetitive input and be more efficient. So I'm interested to see what this actually means in real life and how this works, because this is a lot of buzzwords that sounds interesting, but I want to see what it means for real.
Is it, I think you said the word within the conversation. Is it just in that interaction or is this across, like, is it compiling a repository of previously used prompts across conversations or specific to just the one?
It
Do we know?
says within the same conversation.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Hopefully this is the launch pad to the broader part of that, because that to me is one of the biggest challenges, is keeping up with like what prompts work really well. And sometimes you hit a really good one, but if you don't think to like go back and grab it and put it somewhere as a this worked really well, you lose it. So I would love to see that evolve over time, but they got to start somewhere. So this makes
yeah.
sense.
It's saying it's retaining details such as file paths, parameters, or objects for reuse. So yeah, it's
Okay.
retaining some of the details, but not that full prompt, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Shifting gears a bit, I wanted to talk about some of the Cloudflow updates. There's only a few of them, which is interesting. So let's talk about that for a minute. Out of the whole realm of Power Automate, there are 2 updates in Cloudflow. Maybe 3, but the other one wasn't that interesting. So I'm going to talk about the 2 that are interesting. So what does this mean about the future of Cloudflows? I think that's a fun little conversation we can talk about for a minute. Are they just moving over to Copilot Studio? Because Cloudflow is still the underlying tech that's going to power all of your connections inside of Copilot Studio. That's where I think they're moving, but it is a little concerning to see only a few updates. Before I move into my things, what do you guys think about that?
Do you think they're like going away and moving under Copilot, or you think we're just going to hear the announcements in the Copilot Studio area instead of in the Flow area?
Good question. And I only know this because we have 6 Microsoft certified Power Automate connectors that are in the ecosphere. Connectors aren't going away. They're still what creates everything. But will they be rebranded? Probably. Microsoft likes to rebrand things, right?
Yeah.
Flow turned into Power Automate. Can Power Automate turn into Copilot Studio connectors? Sure. That's probably what's going to happen.
I think you nailed it. I think the underlying tech is still there. It's just going to be bucketed under, like seemingly everything now is seemingly bucketed under this umbrella that is Copilot everything, right? I mean, even the M365 stack is M365 Copilot now, right? So, but you still have Word inside of there and all those Office apps and all the other capabilities. So I think you're right. I think they're going to continue to advance and enhance the functionality that is the ability to build a flow, but just with a different logo on its hat.
Thanks. Thanks for the aside. Let's talk about the 2 very underwhelming updates that exist for Cloudflows. Number 1, restore accidentally deleted flows. How often does this happen? Not terribly, but if it does, you can restore it. This is going to work within 21 days of when the flow was deleted. You can do it directly in the Power Automate portal. You can do this today. You just have to contact customer service or maybe have like super security capabilities. And this will work if you are the owner of the flow, the co-owner of the flow, or an environment admin. So that's what the big update is in Cloudflow. GA is listed for this month. It's not there yet. Is anyone super psyched about this, or shall we move on?
I mean, I'm just astounded that it's 21 days. Like, to me, Control ZZ, depending on where you're from, Canadians, woohoo. There's that to me is like an immediate fix for something that just happened. 21 days? That's weird. So I assume you're going to hit that. It's going to open up some widget, give you a list of all the ones. You can go back and find the one you want.
Yeah.
Right? To me, that's like an immediate undo. So.
Well, Control Z was just me having fun with the title. That's not actually the title.
Oh, I totally
Restore
thought
accidentally deleted flows is the title. That was just me having fun.
Okay. We can move on now.
Yeah, I think someone must have had a problem that this seems very specific, and there was some company that pays a lot of money that had a very specific issue that 20 days after someone quit and deleted all their flows, they found the issue. And that is where this announcement came from.
Awesome.
I mean, that scenario, though, does give rise to a plausible situation.
Yeah.
That maybe that's where this comes from. Yeah, totally.
Story. Our other update is a cooler dashboard metric. So this is your Power Automate licensing dashboard. Kylie, you were talking about a bunch of buzzwords together, which is this first bullet point. These are the buzzwords in one sentence about this update from the release notes. So you can read that if you want, but basically today you have this dashboard and it talks about your license assignment and flow usage for the users. So tomorrow, or August of 2026, we're going to be able to see what it says is user and capacity consumption together at the tenant level, which is cool. It'll give you a centralized management for hosted process mining add-ons, and other capacity licenses, and more proactive guidance. Don't really know what that is. There's no screenshots. There's no additional information. This is fine. That's great. Whatever. It's coming in August. What do you all think?
Anything to give us insight into licenses is great. And then, like we already brought up, as this gets combined more with Copilot and the Copilot licensing, then we'll hopefully see some of that here too, or we'll have to use this dashboard in combination with the AI Hub Analytics dashboard.
Yep. It's probably the latter.
I'm still stuck on Control ZZ. Okay, so the this one, so for the record, image clearly is AI created, just having some fun with this. Have no idea what it actually looks like. I'm also astounded that visualized desktop flows with flowchart view is even a thing in July of 2026. Now, for the record, I don't work much with desktop flows, so I don't really know what its capabilities are and at a super in detailed way. But it just seems astounding to me that this is entering public preview in July of 2026, because flowchart view just feels like the way it should just be as a default way of looking at it. So you can see a bunch of like business value and key capabilities on the screen here. I'm not going to read them all off, but everyone learns differently. I mean, if you ever attended, if you haven't, you should attend Heidi's sessions on learning and learning skills and styles, because everybody learns differently. Visual is one of those primary ways. And so I would assume that this would have been something that's been around for a while. And so I say all that to be a bit of an asterisk in that maybe it is, and I'm just misunderstanding what this is actually conveying. But if it is, in fact, hey, you can now see it in flowchart view, I think that's a great addition. I'm not sure why it took this long to get here, but I'm sure there's technical reasons for that. And it's fantastic that it's here, because for those visual learners, this is going to make it a lot easier to read through than a bunch of text and trying to explain through what's happening in Flow. So,
Totally agree.
any thoughts?
Yeah.
Kylie, you did, before we wrap, you did call out a little bit, alluded to the fact, both of you did. If you look at the release planner, there's 6 items for Cloudflows. There's somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 10 for Copilot and Power Automate. There are a blank ton of desktop and process mining items in there, which is super interesting. Some of the ones, though, if you look at like process mining, are GA items from 2025. So they're still on the list, but that's odd. But even still, those 2 seem to be getting some love and attention, which is interesting. And I don't know what that means. So food for thought, I suppose. If you have thoughts on that, we'd love to hear your comments down below. Otherwise, if you saw some features that you're like, but you missed this thing because it's super cool, we would love to hear it. Throw it in the comments and we will react, respond, and engage around it. And otherwise, we look forward to seeing you next time on Power Tips when we cover another fascinating topic about the release features. We'll see you then.